feel like you're a slightly different person depending on who you're with? With your family, you're one way. With your friends, you're another. And at work, yeah, you're someone else entirely. We call it being adaptable, right? It's a super important social skill. But there's a really fine line between fitting in and completely losing yourself. So let's talk about where that line is. This quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of the danger, doesn't it? It's basically saying that these social masks we all wear to get by, they're not just temporary costumes. If we're not careful, they can actually become a permanent part of us until there's nothing left underneath. It's a pretty chilling thought, isn't it? And it kind of forces you to ask, is being this social chameleon always a strength? Or could it be hiding a real danger, a crack in the foundation of who you actually are? See, when this whole being adaptable thing gets pushed to its absolute extreme, it stops being just a personality quirk. It actually becomes a recognized psychological state. Think about it like this. It's the difference between putting on a costume for a party and then looking in the mirror the next morning and having no idea who's staring back at you. And there's a name for it, identity diffusion. It's a really powerful idea that was first explored by the psychologist Erik Erikson. He saw it as what happens when someone doesn't form a stable, solid sense of self. It's not about being fake, it's about a performance becoming so constant, so all-consuming, that the actor literally forgets who they are when the show is over. And let's be clear, this is not some effortless talent. It is hard, draining, full-time work. It's like you're a deep cover agent, but in your own life. You're constantly analyzing the situation, calculating your next move, and performing. The mental energy that takes is just exhausting. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, the technical term for it is high self-monitoring. Here's how it goes down. First, you walk in and you scan the room. You're mapping out the whole social landscape. Second, you start reading the cues, the inside jokes, who's in charge, all the unspoken rules. Third, you calibrate. You rapidly figure out which version of you is going to fit in best here. And finally, step 4, you perform. And get this whole cycle can happen in the time it takes to just shake someone's hand. So running this mental marathon day after day, week after week, it has a cost. And that cost is profound fatigue. But we're not just talking about being tired. It's this deep, hollowing kind of emptiness, that feeling you get when you've poured every last drop of your energy into the performance, leaving absolutely nothing behind for yourself. Which, of course, leads to the most important question. Why? Why would anyone put themselves through this? What could possibly be so terrifying that just disappearing into the background feels like the only safe option? Well, it turns out it's not just about wanting to be liked. It's a much deeper, more primal fear. It's called the entertainer's fear. And this isn't just a fear of rejection, it's a fear of pure invisibility. It's the core belief that the real you, the person you are when nobody's watching, just isn't enough to hold anyone's attention. The terror is that if you stop performing, you don't just get lonely, you literally cease to exist. And right here, you can see the direct link. On one side, you have that gut-wrenching fear, that voice in your head saying, if I'm not performing, I'm invisible. And on the other side, you have your brain's desperate solution, constant performance. Being the chameleon, the entertainer, it doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like a survival mechanism to fight off the terror of being unseen. But here's the trap. The very performance you use to prove that you exist is the exact same thing that slowly, piece by piece, erodes who you are. The mask you put on so people will see you eventually consumes your entire face. And so, at the end of it all, we're left with the most important question there is. When the stages go dark, when the applause fades away and the audience finally goes home, when you're completely, totally alone, who is left?